Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, SpongeBob, why? Yo, welcome everybody. Welcome. Oh, Ava, it's your or Avon, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you. Oh, yes, you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, you. Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome. Hi Frost, welcome. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? Tell me. I hope you guys have been doing well. These last 2 days I have been trying to get some work done. But there's a big but. It's a big butt. It's been kind of hard because I feel like I procrastinate so much. I am a big procrastinator. That's like one of my many cons, is I just procrastinate so much. Just chilling. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm trying not to do that. I got some work done. It's not like I didn't do anything, but I do have more work to do. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, today, we're gonna be playing a short horror game that I saw some people play for a little while, but I never really got around to playing it myself. It's called Cabin Factory. We're gonna do that. It's maybe like an hour long total. Then afterwards, hopefully, we're gonna finish OMORI at long last. We've been playing it since last week of December. Demon Queen, you want a kiss? Hi, welcome. You were testing all day? Wait, what kind of test did you have? So I'm a 29-year-old fen envy who's also a grandpa. That's right. My Twitch just automatically turned off the notification. Yeah, like I said, Twitch does that. It's so stupid. Twitch just does that sometimes. It's so dumb. Hi Akasa, welcome. Hi Pochita, welcome. But yeah, Twitch just does that sometimes. And that's why I'm like, Twitch is so annoying, because YouTube, it's like, if you even if you don't have notifications on, sometimes you'll get notified anyways. But Twitch, it's the opposite, where even if you manually turn on notifications for a specific streamer, you won't get notified, because Twitch is fucking dookie, and it's run by dookie lords, and I hope they all ruff. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. Ruff. Vix, you want a kiss? I mostly just came for noms. Well, you're not getting him. Dookie Lords is crazy. Is that not what they are? Listen, if I was a 5'3" e-girl, things would be so different. You guys would be getting notified every stream. Even if I wasn't streaming, you'd be notified. I swear to God. Bochita, you want a kiss? Still working on your fan art. Opinions on how it's going so far. It's going pretty good. I like it. Hi G-Moon, welcome. I'm finally being productive. I'm making a paper craft right now. A moon harvest Miku paper craft. Let's go. Dookie Lord is still too polite to refer to Jeff Bezos. Yeah, if I was a 5'3" e-girl, big badonkadonks and dumpy, it would be over for y'all. I shared it to the howlers and they are simping hard. That's because it's good artwork, that's why. Hi Zero, welcome. So yeah, I'm gonna use the restroom very quickly. Very quickly. Give me 1 second. And then but you already have big badonkadonks. Hi Amy, welcome. So I'm gonna use the restroom very quickly and then we're gonna get started and hopefully I don't get too fucking scared. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back. One moment. Oh, SpongeBob, why? Do you guys know what I'm referencing, by the way? Do you guys know what I'm referencing? Like in SpongeBob, there's like this scene. Thank you. There's like this scene where SpongeBob's trying to, you know, drive the boat. Yeah, yeah, and then he crashes it, like he's doing his boat exam, and then Mrs. Puff, he is in the car, and he crashes the boat, and then she blows up because she's a puffer fish, and then she, you know, her voice gets deeper. She's like, "Oh, SpongeBob, why?" And like on TikTok, there's been tons of people who have been, who have been solofying that part of SpongeBob, and singing in like kind of like singing like a soul song. It's so fucking funny. Hold on, I think I have an example. Hold on. Here, it's like, this is what it sounds like. Oh, SpongeBob, why? and then people have just been doing runs with that with that one part.
Oh, SpongeBob, why? Oh, SpongeBob, why? Oh, SpongeBob, why? Oh, SpongeBob.
Oh, SpongeBob, why?
Ooh, SpongeBob,
Oh, SpongeBob, why? Oh my god, my side hurts from laughing. Okay, let's get started with the game. So I have no idea how this game is like. I have no idea. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. I hope I don't get too scared. You guys can see it. Yeah. You guys can't see me. There we go. So I hope I don't get too scared. Right now there's currently no sound. I'll just make it like 50%. Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna be doing this together. I'm a little worried, but oh. Hi Moonlight, welcome. Oh, this is me.
Welcome to the Cabin Factory Corporation.
Oh,
At the Cabin
SpongeBob.
Factory, we pride ourselves in
What?
creating the best hyper-realistic horror cabins for the movie and
Yo, we
theme park
kinda-
industries.
we kinda
Starting
old.
today, you will be one of our cabin inspectors. Congratulations. Due to
Oh.
a recent legal dispute that falsely claims some of our cabins are haunted, it's now mandatory to inspect every cabin to ensure the safety of all users.
What?
It's important to highlight this claim is untrue and that we have had 0 cases of serious anomalies proven to be the corporation's fault. We're
What?
positive you will carry out these inspections thoroughly and professionally. From the whole Cabin Factory Corporation family, have a wonderful first day as a cabin inspector. By entering this elevator, you have accepted all the terms of your contract, which may be updated without notice.
Nah. Nah. Oh, SpongeBob. What? All right, let's go. Let's check it out. Hello? Mina? Oh. Inspect the whole cabin. If haunted, turn back immediately and press danger. If safe, press clear. Any movements mean the cabin... Wait, what? Any... Oh my god, am I getting... No, okay. Any movement means the cabin is haunted. If nothing moves, not haunted. Oh, okay. Oh. Thrown into a room with legal... Is this Severance? Honestly, it might as well be... Okay. Hello? Oh, there's someone here. Oh my... Oh, no. Nah. 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 Can I get out, please? Nah. 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 No thanks. So I'm gonna say that this is clear. I actually don't know if it was clear, but you know what? We'll take that guesstimate. Shift to run, okay. Hello? Oh, SpongeBob. What? Oh, SpongeBob. Why? Oh, SpongeBob. Why? Please let me leave. Why? Okay, this is dangerous. Oh, that was right. Okay, 2 for 2. So we have 8 total. Okay, that's easy. It's no problem. Oh, you see that? You see that right there? That's her. Hi, Cadence. Well,
the brutal fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods. 2 bodies were found calcinated on Sunday evening after 3 hikers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later, the flames were still burning. According to our sources, a family of 4 lived in the cabin, a mother, a father, and their 2 children. The police confirmed the bodies found on the scene
okay, fuck
belonged
it.
to the parents.
Fuckery
2
ball.
children, a 10-year-old little girl and her 6-year-old brother, have not yet been found in the surrounding areas. The chief of the fire department
That was
announced
movement.
the search operation will continue and said she has hopes of finding them alive. It is still unclear how the parents got trapped inside their own cabin, but the police have found clues that may indicate the fire was intentional. A criminal
Mighty
investigation
ball.
is ongoing.
No. Dangerous. No! I was wrong! Oh, and it starts over. Oh, SpongeBob. What? Oh, he's gone. Where'd he go? Oh my god. Where is he? Oh, SpongeBob. No! What? Oh, reset. Oh, no. You hope I'm doing a good... I think I'm doing an okay job. Okay, this is clear. Oh. Oh. Well, you lost. Oh, Ghost Reaper, thank you for the 3 gifted. Let's go. That's a W. Let me out! Please let me leave, little girl. What do I do? What happened? Where am I? Where am I? What the fuck? What the fuck? Hello? Ew! You're fucking ew! Fucking nasty bitch! Fuck you! Fuck you? Oh, I'm a little girl! I'm a little girl! Hello! Oh.
What do you think you'll find outside? Absolutely nothing. You want to leave, Greta?
Yeah!
That's totally fine. But your brother will stay here. And he will not be happy when he hears you abandoned him. Leave and abandon your poor mother.
Oh my god! No! Close! No! I'm just a girl. What do you want me to do? I'm just a fucking girl. Let me live my life doing girl things. Like, I don't know, like your mom. Okay, this is... Aw, come on. That was clear. That was clear. Oh. Alright, what's gonna come after me this time? Estrella, thank you so much for following. Hello. Please. Please. I don't want to die. Alright, fuck it. Let me out. Let me out. Oh, I'm out. That's... Uh-oh. Oh, I'm really fucked now. Makes burgers and steaks. Oh! Oh, there's so many. Oh my god! Where do I go? You guys? Oh, hello, little girl. Is that you? Wait, is this Greta? Little girl. Little girl's time to wake up. Oh my god! Oh, they're coming! Oh, they're coming! They're coming! Little girl! It's time to... Monsters! It's time to wake up! Oh my god! What do I do? Can I just... Excuse me, guys. Oh, thank you. Oh my god. Okay, that's very haunted. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright. Hello? Oh, the frog is normal. The girl is normal. Oh, no, that was a noise. So that is a bad sign. That means no. That means danger. Yeah. Okay. All right, this better be clear. Let me be clear. Okay, everything looks... Oh, that was a noise. That was literally a fucking noise. I don't like no... yep, that's a noise, 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 that's a noise. Danger. Okay. Well, I'm kind of getting the hang of this. Oh, yep, no, that's... Yep. Yep. What? What? Aww. Alright. Hey, you guys. What's going on? Okay, this seems normal. It seems normal, so let's do... Oh. Guys, I suck at this. Why do I suck? Okay, we gotta lock in now. Oh, nah. What? No, there was a man there. What do you... What? Whoa. There's a man. There's a man just walking around. That's dangerous. What? Oh, go away. Hello, is anyone here? Oh, that's out of the ordinary. Oh, hello, little boy. Yeah, no thank you. Goodbye. Danger. Yup. Alright, what's next? Oh, he's gone. Where is he? Where is he? Hello? Oh no, he's gonna be right behind me, isn't he? Wait, why can't I leave? Oh, I can leave now. Guys, let me... No! Wait, what happened? What happened? Oh, SpongeBob. Why? What happened? Why did I die? I saw that. This little boy's body was being dragged. Yeah, no. Guys, I don't want to do this. Okay, fuck it. Okay, everything looks normal. I did not hear any sound, so I think we're good. Oh, no. Alright, well, I think we lost. I think we lost. I think that's an immediate game over. Oh, I heard a noise. That's danger. What? Hello? Oh, my game. What happened to my game? Oh, he's gone. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, everyone's gone. I have to hide. I have to hide. Oh, and I'm lagging. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. Oh my god, my thing's lagging so bad. Oh! Oh! No! 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 It's haunted! It's haunted! Go away! No more. You got something to say to me? That's a noise. Yep, that's a noise. That's a noise. That's a noise. That's a noise. Oh, yep, that's haunted. Yep. Yep, that's not normal. What? Is it not just the same every time? Does it change and it could still be normal? Oh, nah. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you, I'm fine. Oh, that's not normal. Wait, but that could be, but there could be nothing wrong. So this isn't normal, but everything could be completely fine. I think everything is fine here, actually. I think this is out. No, that was a noise, though. You know what? No, everything is normal. This is fine. Yup. Is okay. I think I understand this game now. Just look for the haunted stuff. Doesn't matter if it's that's an
fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods. 2 bodies were found calcinated on Sunday evening after 3 hikers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later, the flames were still burning. According to our sources,
that was a noise. That was a noise. I'm calling it dangerous. What? Any movements mean the cabin is haunted. If nothing moves, then oh, I guess the noise doesn't really matter. Nah. I know what you are. You know what you are? Haunted. Alright, I can do this. I can literally do this. We are the champions, my friend. Alright. Nothing's moving. Alright, nothing's moving. We're good. This is clear. What? Why? No. Where is he? He's moving around. Where is he? Hi, Laser Frog. Oh my god, Laser Frog, yo. Yo, Laser Frog, what you doing in my game? Hi, Wolfie Girl, welcome. Oh, I'm dead, aren't I? Music fan, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Oh, there's no more. Oh, I'm dead. 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 Alright, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. It's haunted. Yep. Okay. Okay, okay. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Anything moving? Oh. You're looking at that. That's different. I'm gonna take a guess. Okay. I clearly don't know what I'm doing, okay? I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, where is everybody? Oh.
911, what's your emergency?
Well, thank you so much for following.
I see,
Welcome.
sweetie, but I'm sure they love you. Being a parent can be really hard. Is there anything I can help you with? Are they very...
Because they were there. They were there. Bro, they were there. They were like... I didn't know they were gonna... Okay, when he's not there, it's a problem. Oh, it doesn't help that it's so windy today, so there's so many things that are moving around. Oh, God. Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh, yep. Okay, I'm stuck here. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm going upstairs. Nice screams. Oh, you want to hear me scream? Hi, Jay. Welcome. I cannot open the door. That means something could kill me. Or I'm stuck in here. Please let me open the door. Please, please. Okay, I guess not. What am I supposed to do? 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 I cannot open this door. Can I talk to you here? Oh! Oh. No. 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 Fuck it! No, 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 no. Stop knocking. 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 I have to get out. Let me leave. Let me leave. It won't let me leave. Why not? Oh. All right. It's haunted. It's haunted, all right. Okay. Gonna take a gander. Okay. 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 Is he gone again? No, he's there. Okay. Everything seems completely normal and fine, so... This is not haunted. This is normal. Yeah! Oh, if we can make it to 3, please. I feel like once we're about to get 3 right, we always fuck up. Is he gone again? No, he's here. Okay. Everything looks normal. Hi, Mir, welcome. Everything seems normal. Nothing's moving. Alright, everything's good. This is a normal house. Nothing moved. What? What? Nothing moved. I'm just gonna guess. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, this is danger. Okay, no, it's not. But this one is. This one's danger. Yup. And this one's also danger. Yup. Oh my god, we're guessing. Okay, this one's gonna be clear. Okay, it's not. But this one's gonna be clear. Yup. You made it back from your trip? How was it? Oh yeah, but this one is dangerous. Okay, no, it's not. This one's okay, that one's not clear. Clear. Not clear. I'm just gonna keep guessing till we get it right. Not clear. I'm gotching hard. Got a new phone case and a kickstand. Hey yo, let's go. Alright, let's do a 10 roll. Oh, got a 4-star. Okay, let's we lost money. Oh man. Oh, we got it. Oh, but we lost again. Oh, we got it. Yo, this is crazy. Okay, we can. It's dangerous again. Yup. Oh, is it gonna be dangerous a 3rd time? No, it's not. But it's gonna be clear. Yes, it is. And then let's do a little danger. Oh, and but it's gonna be danger again. It's gonna be danger again. Aw. Do your job. Oh, it's dangerous. Yup, it's dangerous. Oh, is it dangerous again though? Is it dangerous? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, but it's dangerous now. Yeah. And guess what? It's clear. Oh no. And but it's oh, it's not. Oh. Oh, come on. Oh, but this one will be, yeah. Okay, let's go check. This one seems clear. Nothing's moving. Nothing has moved. Oh wait, this moved. Okay, that moved. That's danger. That's danger. What? Alright, let's really inspect this now. Is anything moving? Is anything moving? Hello? I hear a noise, but that doesn't mean movement. Okay. You're normal. Oh. Oh. But that could just be normal. That could just be normal for this cabin. So, oh no, this is haunted. This is haunted. I can't leave. That means it's haunted. That means it's haunted. Yep. What? No. 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 All right. Nothing's moving. Everything seems normal. Everything looks fine. Yes, this place is not haunted. This place is clear. What? What? How? 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 Inspect the whole cabin. If haunted, turn back and immediately press danger. Any movements mean cabin is haunted. If nothing moves, it's not haunted. Nothing moved. Hi, guys. What? Is anything moving? Nothing looks like it's moving. Everything looks normal. Everything looks fine. Is anything moving around here? Is it too dark? Is that it? Maybe I have to turn on my gamma. I think that's what I have to do. Nothing's moving around here. This seems clear. Okay. Maybe that's been the problem this whole time. Let's try this again. All right, hello. Oh, that looks different. She's smiling. That's not good. But is anything moving is the question. Oh, that looks different too. Okay, is anything moving? Is anything moving? Are you moving? Oh, you look different too. Nothing seems to be moving. This actually looks kind of normal. Yeah, nothing's moving. It's just kind of creepy, but it's done. Yes. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay. Please, nothing move. All right. What's next? Is anything moving around here? Hello. Hello. Okay. This looks normal. Are you normal? You don't look too normal, but... Oh, this is... Okay. Yeah, okay. This is haunted. Danger. Danger. Stranger danger. And then I just have to run up. Okay, I just have to run up. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Hello. Uh-oh.
What do you think you'll find outside?
Why am I a child? I'm just a little girl, bruh.
You want to leave, Greta? That's totally fine. But your brother will stay here. And he will not be happy when he hears you abandoned him. Leave and abandon your poor mother.
I'm literally leaving. Bye. No, no, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. No, no, no. Let me leave. Let me leave. You're haunted. You're literally haunted. You're literally haunted. Yeah. All right. All right. Are you normal? Is the game running slow? It looks normal for me. But the game has been kind of running a little slow as well. Oh, the painting's gone. The painting's gone. Oh god. I'm getting out of here. Yep. Don't worry, I saw you. Bye. Hi, Murder Mommy, welcome. Oh, this one's gonna be haunted, I think. Yeah, this one's gonna be haunted. I'm pretty sure, but we'll double check. Yeah. Yup. All right. Everything is haunted. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yup. Okay. Everything is haunted. I knew it. I freaking knew it. You're haunted. You're haunted. Haunted. Oh, okay. This guy's gonna be missing, right? Oh no, he's here. Hey. I've been so lonely, girl. No, you're not moving, you're fine. You guys aren't moving, you guys are good. Okay. You're not moving. Nothing here's moving. Seems actually pretty normal. I think this is clear. I think this is clear. Please be clear. What? Nothing more. Oh no. This is torture. This is torture. This is torture. This is torture. How long do I have to be around? I don't inspect every little thing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Ushi, thank you so much for the 5 months. Thank you. That's a W. Mwah. How is that? Okay, how is that not clear? How is that there? Nothing moved. Nothing. Oh, this game is so. Why? Oh. We're going back to the gacha. I'll just take one little look. One little gander. Okay, this one is haunted because it looked totally normal. That's why. The only This one also looks completely normal, but there was a noise, which means nothing, which probably means it's haunted. You know what? I'll investigate just a little bit more because oh, okay. I see you, little girl. I think this might be haunted. I think this might be haunted. I'm gonna take a guess. And of course I'm wrong. Of course. But this one's haunted. Yup. Okay. Okay. And this one's probably. Oh, this one's probably. Okay. But this one's clear. Which means this one is also clear. Yup. Which clearly means that this one is not haunted. But that means that this one is also haunted. That's right. Which means this one will also be haunted. Are you haunted? Oh. You bought more pools? No, I bought more pools. So nothing is moving, right? I don't see anything moving at all. I see nothing moving. Everything is normal. It's fine. Which means that this is haunted. That's what this means. That means this is it wasn't haunted. Which means this one is haunted. But that means this one is like a wild card. Like we don't know what this could be. What does this look like? Are you weird? Nathaniel, you want to kiss? Mwah. 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 Oh, I heard a thud. I heard a little thud, which means that this place is completely not haunted. That's just house settling noises. Alright. Oh, you hate me so bad. You hate me so bad.
So much yapping.
You hate me so bad. What do you mean? This one is haunted. Is there a problem with my yapping? Is there a problem? If I don't hate who, what am I supposed to feel for you then? Love? Maybe? Maybe that's asking for too much. Maybe asking for love is too much for me. Shineko, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Nothing is moved. This better be clear. This is crystal clear. Yeah. Which means this one is clearly haunted. Yeah, this one's obviously... Oh, wait, actually, no. This one's not haunted. This one's actually totally normal. Yep, this one seems like a normal one. Genie, welcome. Howdy, partner. Yeah, this one actually seems like a normal one. My love might be too much for you. No, it's never too much. Give me all the love. Give me all. Are you here? Yeah, you're here. Oh, this one looked kind of haunted, not gonna lie. Yeah, this one's haunted. This one's very haunted. This one is haunted. Yep. You haven't learned your lesson after 2 yandere exes? No, of course not. You learned my lesson? Come on. This is Noro 2D we're talking about. Okay, you're normal. Oh, but there's a remote and it's moving, which means I get the fuck out of here. You're literally haunted. Yeah. Okay, what's next? Is he moving? Is he moving? I kind of don't want to go out there. I kind of don't want to go in. I kind of don't want to go in. I kind of want to stay out here. Should I just stay? Should I just go in? Should I just fuck it? Should I just fuck it? Running, swinging. Hey. Hey, buddy. Oh, you look kind of weird. Gonna check everything out. Looks normal. Are you still out here? Yes, you are. Okay, everything looks pretty normal. So I think this is actually clear. Nothing moved. Clear. What about me attracts yanderes? That's a good question. That's a good question. All right. Oh, there's another one. Oh, this one's gonna move though. This one's gonna move. Watch, just you watch. You gonna move? Yep. All right, who's the last one? Please, for the love of God.
The brutal fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods. 2 bodies were found calcinated on Sunday evening after 3 hikers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later, the flames were still burning. According to our sources, a family of 4 lived in the cabin, a mother, a father, and their 2 children. The police confirmed the bodies found on the scene belonged to the parents. The 2 children, a 10-year-old little girl and her 6-year-old brother, have not yet been found in the surrounding areas. The chief of the fire department announced the search operation will continue and said she has hopes of finding them alive.
Is anything moving around here?
It is still unclear how the parents got trapped inside their own cabin, but the police have found clues that may indicate the fire was intentional. A criminal investigation is ongoing.
Is anything moving? Does that count?
The brutal fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods.
Nothing is
2 bodies
moving.
were found calcinated on Sunday evening after 3 hikers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later, the flames were still burning. According to our sources, a family of 4 lived in the
I'm gonna
cabin,
guess
a mother,
not
a
haunted.
father, and
Nothing.
their 2
That's not
children.
moving. That's not
The police
moving.
confirmed the bodies found
That's
on the
not
scene
moving.
belonged to the parents. The 2
This isn't
children,
moving.
a 10-year-old little girl and her
If this is
6-year-old
haunted
brother
and
have
it's-
not yet been found in the surrounding areas. The chief of the fire department announced the search operation will continue and said she has hopes
Okay,
of finding
this
them
is
alive.
clear.
It is still unclear.
Yes! Yeah! 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 We did it! Yes! Oh, look at it! Wait, we can leave! We can leave! Wait, do we leave through here? Where do we leave through? No, we leave through here. Yeah! Yeah! Freedom. Hi, Wani. Freedom. Freedom. Ah. Yeah. Oh my God. Whoa. What is happening? Yes, I need them belly rums. Bro, I went da-na-na-na, da-na. What? Jesus. Oh, it's my normal house. When it's me. Oh, SpongeBob. Why? Oh, it's the frog. It's Laser Frog. Oh, and that's our family. We're a little girl. We killed our abusive parents. Ho ho ho. Oh, our apartment's so. Yup. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. It may still haunt us, but oh, we did it. We did it. Fuck this. Goodbye. Oh. Yes. 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 It was a quick game, which is why we're gonna be playing more Omori. It was a quickie. You guys never did a quickie before? It's where you play a game super quickly until you win. That's what a quickie is, right? But what was wrong? Is that not what it is? I always assumed that's what it was. So I was like, oh, I do quickies all the time because I'm a really good gamer and I finish games super quickly, except for games I play on stream, of course. With those, I take my time. Give me a quickie and teach me. Like, teach me how to play. What game can I learn quickly that you can teach me? Well, what games are you good at where you can teach me quickly? You take your time when people watch? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, you're making it dirty, aren't you? You gotta use your mouth to play some games, that's all. Yeah, like Omori, I have to use my mouth to play Omori. Because I have to voice act it all. But we're at a really pinnacle point in Omori. Let me... Bloop. Very pivotal. Is there a problem? What's going on, you guys? Come on, guys! Don't be freaks. Be normal. Whoa, 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 whoa! You guys! Do you guys see what I see? Hold on, let me change it. Chottomate. You guys see this? Guys. Well, you know what? Oh, I have to plug in my controller. Whoops. Is it working now? Yes. Disrespecting your elders. Ooh, you got in trouble. Ooh, you got in trouble. Bad. Alright. Alright. Alright, fuck it. It's time. Oh, it's the church. Oh, it's the church. Is that Basil? What is that? Who is that? Who is that? Hi, Ravenwolf. Mwah. Wanna hug? Noro, the truth is here. You've been running from this for so long. But this time, we can face it together. I'm giving you guys a little lick. Oh, Noro, why did you end up like this? Noro, I'm so sorry. Oh, they're shrinking, or they're sinking. Will you forgive me, my best friend? Guys, do we want to save Basil? Yes. That's not even a question. That's not even a question. We're saving Basil. Yeah, you guys got potty mouth. You guys got stinky potty nasty mouth. Oh my god. Oh, chotto. Oh. Starzy, thank you so much for following. There's something out there. It's calling me. And it's calling you too. Basil? What is it? Let's go together. Whoa. Basil. Basil. Whoa. Guys, I'm afraid. Basil. Basil. I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me, my best friend? Please, it hurts. Tell them to let go. Wait, what are you doing? Tell them to stop. Please, tell them to stop. Help me. What did we just do? What did we just do? What's going on? Oh. What? 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 Oh, we woke up. Oh, I forgot we were sleeping with the boys. An old computer. Let's do a quick save. Ah, finally, we're back to being Noro. Alright. Anything in here? Is that Mari? Mari! Oh, your playing is beautiful. You know, waltzes were always my favorite. That's why I chose this song for our last recital. But you always hated it, didn't you? How I'd lock myself away on the piano, all that practicing, playing the same song over and over. When you first picked up your new violin, you were so eager to play with me. But keeping up with something isn't so easy. Maybe I pushed you too hard. I'm sorry. I just wanted it to be perfect. We never did get to play at our last recital. Did you want to play with me now? Oh. Whoa. You scared me there, Noro. Sorry for bursting in like that. I could have sworn I heard some music. You must miss Mari a lot. It's been hard for me too. I still think about her every day. I just don't understand why she chose to leave us the way she did. But I knew her as a person who always wanted all of us to be happy, even if I was without her. Damn, he really loved her. Hiro really loved Mari. You should really get some rest. Go upstairs. I'll join you in a bit. Well, thank you, Hiro. God, it's so silent. What the fuck was that? 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 Was that Mari? Was that Mari's body? Can I see it again? Mari? Hi Noro, this is from Mommy. Remember to brush your teeth every day. Love you. Back to sleepy bye? Alright, back to sleepy bye. 1 day left. Fuck. Okay. Oh, we're back. Okay, I was expecting us to go back into Noro Dreamland. Good morning, Noro. Rise and shine. I noticed the to-do list with the chores your mom gave you, so I finished them all. Hope you don't mind. Also, I made you breakfast. Come down and get it while it's still warm. Kel's already on his second plate. Yo, you finished breakfast? What do you make us? Oh, Hiwo. Hiwo-chan. Top of the morning, Noro. You better.
Start eating before I finish it all. I already ate almost most of the bacon, yo.
Another plate of bacon coming in hot. Oh boy, for me? Thanks a bunch, bro.
How can I be? I'll go get the door. It's you!
Ew! What is all this, Kel? What the heck, Kel? Yo, what's going on? Oh, is it? Oh, it's this fucker. Huh? What's going on over here?
Dang it, Cal. Now I have eggs all over me.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're the last person I'd expect to see here. What are you doing here anyway?
I was just about to get to that. It's Aubrey. She's not answering her door, or her back door, or the rocks we've been throwing at her window. She was really upset yesterday. I know this is your fault somehow. Tell me what you did to her. We didn't do anything. She's the one with the problem.
Hold on, Cal. If Aubrey's that upset, we should at least try to do something to help. This is Aubrey we're talking about. We've all known each other since we were kids.
You weren't there when she pushed Basil into the lake. I told you, she's different now. We shouldn't bother with people like her.
It's true that she's changed, but it doesn't change the fact that I still care about her. And even if she doesn't show it, I'm sure Aubrey still cares about me too. Brooklyn, thank you so much for following. That's just the kind of person she is. I don't know about that. Today's our last chance to do this before Noro leaves. Today's our last chance to do this before Noro leaves. There's no way I can just let it end like this. We should at least try and talk to her.
Well, me and Noro can tag along, but you're gonna have to be the one to do the talking. She listens to you the most.
Thanks, Cal. Hey, Kim. Thanks for asking us to help. You're a good friend.
Huh? Sure, whatever.
Why don't you head out first? We'll meet you there.
Okay then. See ya.
Alright, let's fucking go. And we'll do a quick Yo, Noro. Thanks for letting us sleep over last night. And for spending your last few days with me. You're a real friend.
High five!
Yes, I want a high five, Cal.
Woo!
I got an achievement. High five Cal 3 times. Oh, Matcha, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. Let me shout you out. Thank you, Matcha, for the raid. I hope your stream was good. Oh, you're playing Wuthering Wave? Let's go. Yeah, I hope you had a good stream today. La da 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 da. I forgot, what are we supposed to meet her? Does this say our objective? I don't remember. Alright, doesn't matter. I played Phasmophobia and Headliners. Ayo. Oh, we have to go to, yeah, okay, wait, Aubrey. Okay. This way? Okay, it's probably down here. This way? Okay, no, it's absolutely this way. Hello? Is anyone there? Come to think of it, we've never been inside Aubrey's house before. I don't think so. She's always come over to play with us. I don't remember hanging out at her house at all. Hello? Aubrey? Is anyone home? Hello? Oh, it looks like the door was open. Let's go inside. All right, Aubrey. The fuck? This is where Aubrey lives? This is Aubrey's mom? She doesn't even care. What the hell? Hey Aubrey, how are you feeling? What the heck are you guys even doing here? Get the hell out of my room! We're sorry for intruding. It'd only take a bit. We just wanted to make sure you were okay. Hi Thelma, welcome. I'm fine! I've been hearing some things, but I just want to hear it from you. Can you tell me what happened? Can you tell me what happened yesterday? Nothing happened. You pushed Basil into the lake. You know he can't swim. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to push him away. He could have drowned. I said it was an accident. Look, I'm sorry, okay? You're the one that keeps showing up and acting like you're better than everyone. Well, you're the one who's going around bullying Basil and stealing his stuff. Stop talking like you know anything about that. I keep telling you that's none of your business. But it is my business. You and Basil and everyone here, you were my best friends. All right. I see the problem here. This is just your typical Cal and Aubrey fight. Just make up, you two. You've done it so many times before. Hey, these are the missing photos of Mari. They're all I have left of her. But you know it's still not right of you to take them from Basil. These photos belong to him. Well, it's no use now. Even if we have these photos, I already threw the rest away. They must be long gone by now. That's not true, Aubrey. Noro has them right here. What? He does? But how? I could have sworn I'd throw them away in the trash. Unless you and Noro... You really dug through my trash for this thing? That's kind of gross. Oh, Artemis and Apollo, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. Let me shout you out. Welcome. How was your stream? What were you streaming? Wait, were you playing Sun and Moon? Welcome. Boa, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Hey, yo. We're just chatting. How was your stream? My stream is going okay. There's like crazy tea going on right now in this game. We're like at the close to the, what is it, the climax of OMORI right now. Like shit is going down. But I hope you had a good stream. I hope that you stick around and, you know, just relax and have a good time. And thank you so much. I always wanted to try that game. Apollo, you gotta try it. You have to try it. I've been voice acting this whole time, this whole game. Aubrey, let's put Maury's photos back in the photo album. All these photos. Tomo, you want a kiss? They belong together in one place. Yes, yes, please do. Hero took the photo album from you. Oh. We're getting them all now. Come on, guys. We should do this together. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, we're putting all these photos away. What does it say? Oh, TDW, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Does it really matter, like, what the order is? Oh, is that? Oh, that's not the right one. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's right here. Okay, okay. I see now. Oh, so windy outside. What did you miss? We saw Aubrey's place. Aubrey's not living in a good place right now. Oh, right here. Hi, Wani. What am I playing? I'm playing OMORI. Oh, right here. Okay. Oh, right here, right here. Oh, this is sad. Oh, right here. Right here. Right here. I love photo albums. Brings back nostalgia. It does. It's so. I never had a photo album really. I think my family did when I was really young, but I never did. I always wanted to have one. Like whenever I started my own family. Me and the ones having a photo album together. That sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? Yes, do play it. Please play it. I think it would be so. If Artemis and Apollo, if you both played it, that would be so fun. Because I've been having to voice it all by myself, pretty much. But when you got two people voicing it, oh, that's so fun. One photo album and fan art channel, please make it happen. Make it happen. I'd be the happiest pup in the whole wide world. Okay, last one. All right. I don't have the VA voice like you, but I got you. Do you want to look through the photo album? Yes. My first photo. It's my best friend Noro trying out his new violin. Theodore, thank you so much for following. Hi Moon, welcome back. You want a photo album of me? Wait, okay, let me read this. My first photo. It's my best friend Noro trying out his new violin. He started taking lessons again so he can play at recitals with his sister Mari. So exciting. It's my 12th birthday today. I thought my friends forgot, but they were all surprised. They all surprised me with a strawberry cake. Well, it's gonna be me on my birthday. I feel so lucky. This year is looking to be a good year. Another group photo. This was a little after I opened all my presents. Oh, I have to read this as Basil. Sorry.
Mari brought me this photo album, and everyone else bought me film for my camera. I'll try my best to use it all. Just Kel being Kel. So many party ads. Noro playing a video game on the couch. Noro's a little shy, but he's a really good listener. I always end up venting to him when I get upset or stressed.
Basil's an E. Yeah, Basil. Flower Crown Basil is an E-boy.
Sometimes I feel like I'm bothering him, but he never seems to mind. Mari and Hiro fell asleep on the couch. They look so cozy together. I hope they don't mind the photo. Mari's dad might be kind of mad if he saw it.
Aw, because they liked each other. That's why. That's so cute.
Hiro and Mari washing dishes from breakfast. We're staying over with Mari and Noro this weekend. It's getting warmer lately, so we're about to go to the park. Kel says there's a secret lake behind some bushes, so we're all going to check it out. We're back from the park, but Kel is still full of energy. He challenged Hiro to an arm wrestling match, but we all know who's going to win. Please go easy on him, Hiro. Oof. Sorry, Kel. Better luck next time. Kel was still feeling a little sour about losing Hiro in arm wrestling last night, so Hiro decided to lean in for a smooch. Kel looks so annoyed. Brotherly love. Me showing Noro a book I've been reading. Mari stole my camera and took this when I wasn't paying attention. I should really keep better track of my things. It's all of us cuddling with Noro's stuffed animals. He has so many, and they're all so soft. I wish I could just lay here forever. It's already the last day of March. We're having a picnic with Mari at our secret lake spot. Mari wanted to take a picture of everyone. Say cheese. After eating all the food, everyone fell asleep, except me, Hiro, and Mari.
So I feel so gross saying it like this, but Basil really does. In my mind, Basil has like the deepest, darkest, bassiest voice. Even though, like, I think he's supposed to be kind of like a femboy, right?
Something unfortunate happened while I was taking the photo. Thanks a lot, Hector. I'll have to cover up the tape later. I caught Mari carrying Noro on the way home from school today.
Hey, can you guys give me a piggyback ride like that? Can you guys pick me up like that? Keppa, thank you so much for following. Welcome. No. Why not? Why not? Why not? Aren't I worth it? Actually, if you make them
He must have fallen asleep on the bus. I thought it was so cute, so I got my camera as quick as I could to snap a once-in-a-lifetime photo. Sometimes I wish I had a sibling. Mari's teaching everyone how to make flower crowns. Here's Noro and Cal holding Mari's example. It looks perfect, doesn't it? If only Mari thought so too. Noro and Kel gave up on making flower crowns and ran off, but Aubrey and I got the hang of it really fast. Everyone thinks a flower crown really suits me. Maybe just the flowers, okay? Hero is still trying to make his flower crown. It's taking him a little while, but he's getting there. You have to admire his persistence. It's raining super hard today. The rain always seems to come out of nowhere during springtime. Aubrey asked me to take a photo of her with her new raincoat. It's her favorite color, pink. Aubrey won't let Kel under the umbrella, but Kel seems to be taking it just fine. He says he likes how the rain tushed. Just Kel being Kel again.
Went to hobbies. Wait, I want to see the cute photos. Hold on. I want to see the ones with just Mari. Where's Mari? Hero sleeping on Mari. He's all tired out from swimming. Well, it seems like Mari won't be able to get her summer tan after all. Wait, let me see the photo. Oh, so cute. And of course there's me. Someone please draw me like this. Wait, what is... Okay. We're about to head home, but I managed to catch one last photo of Mari and Hero. They look so happy, a match made in heaven. Were they dating? Mari says this beetle is a giant stag. It suddenly fell from a tree and surprised everyone. Hero's too grossed out to look. Guys, I want to cry. This is so cute. What is this? This is me and Mari. Noro giving Mari a big hug. Did Mari die? Yeah, Mari died. Mari doesn't come until late now because she's taking extra classes to prepare for college. Me and Noro have been hanging out a lot, but I'm sure he still misses her a lot. Mari practicing her part for a big recital next month. We're all going to watch. It's going to be Mari and Noro's first performance together, but I know they'll do just fine. How? I have no idea. The game hasn't told us yet. We will all be showing our support from the audience. Hi Marie, welcome. Mari getting a little camera shy because she's made a small mistake. Don't worry, Mari, just keep going. No one will even notice. After some begging, Noro came to join Mari for recital practice. They're still working out some stuff, but they already sound amazing. I know they're going to be great. Go, Mari, go, Noro, you can do it. Oh, that's the last one. Are you done looking? I'm done looking. Oh, no, I'm done looking. I'm done. Yes. There. Now everything is as it should be. Looks like one photo is still missing, but at least the rest of them are back together. Now, doesn't it feel better? We really did have a lot of fun together, huh? Hi, Sana, welcome. I miss you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, I guess we really did. I'm sorry, guys. I've been acting like such a jerk. I'm sorry too, Aubrey. I really haven't been treating you so great either.
Alright, apologies accepted. Now we can all be friends again. Who wants a hug?
Come on, Hero, not now. It's so embarrassing. I'm good, thanks.
All we need to do now is check up on Basil. I hope he's feeling better today. Aubrey, knowing everything I heard from Cal, I'm sure you know you need to apologize to him.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Aubrey. It's good to have you back. Now let's get you out of this house.
Okay.
Alright, let's fucking... The squad is back! The squad is back! Does your mom even care? Your mom Lily doesn't care. Okay. You take a hug from me?
Mwah. Yo, Aubrey, are you okay? Hey, Kim. I'm good. Thanks for bringing everyone. Hey, guys. Aubrey's here.
Yo, Aubrey, you feeling any better? We saved a taffy for you. What happened in there? Your face is all red. Do you need me to teach you someone a lesson?
Don't worry about me, guys. Sorry for ignoring you earlier. No biggie. We're just glad you're alright. Right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Aubrey, let's go hang out at the park. I want to show you some super cool new moves I came up with. I was up practicing all night. That sounds fun, but maybe later. I have some things to take care of first. We'll hang out tomorrow, I promise. Okay, see you later then. Aubrey, don't keep us waiting too long. You know I won't, Kim. I'll be back before you know it.
Alright, let's fucking go, baby. Okay, where's Basil? Basil's over here, right? They're either here or up. Oh. Yeah, they're here. Okay. Basil! Hey, Polly, how's Basil doing? We were wondering if we could hang out with him today.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm afraid Basil isn't home right now. He's
in the hospital.
What? What happened?
Oh, my apologies. Let me clarify. Basil is in the hospital visiting his grandma. She was rushed to intensive care yesterday evening. Oh no. I'm really sorry to hear that. Do you know when he'll be back? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe sometime in the afternoon? Sorry. Would you mind if we checked back here later? We're all really worried about him. I don't mind at all. Please come by to visit. I think Basil would appreciate having some friends over. I'm happy to know that Basil has friends that care so much about him. Oh, it's nothing. Friends are supposed to be there for each other. Right, Aubrey?
Yeah, sure. Anyways, we'll be back later. See you, Polly.
Okay, see you. Well, I guess we have to wait until he gets back. Is there anything you guys want to do until then?
No, I'm okay just hanging out and doing whatever. Then I vote somewhere indoors. It's way too hot today.
Sure. Maybe we can hang out at our house a little. And then later when it cools down, we can all go to see the treehouse.
Oh yeah, we should do that. Especially since Aubrey's with us now. Our old treehouse, huh? I haven't really been there in so long. Yeah, we haven't yet either. We wanted to go see it yesterday, but it was a little too dark outside.
How about you, Noro? What did you want to do today? It's your last day, so you should call the shots.
Yeah. You should decide how we spend your last day in faraway town. Lead the way, Noro. Let's fucking go. Let's go see that treehouse. La da 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 da. Oh, it's a cat. Oh, Mr. Kitty. Sir Meow Meow.
Where are you, kitten?
Hey, it's the fam. Kellen Hero's family photo. What a good looking family. Oh, and they have the little baby. It is so cute.
Wait, where's the treehouse? Is it just in the front yard? Oh no, it's in my front yard. Or backyard. I think it's my backyard. Yeah, let's go see the treehouse. Alright. Oh. Oh. Well, what's going on?
Wow. I guess you're really moving away, huh, Noro? When I see this empty house, it all feels so sudden. But for you, moving away must be a long time coming. I hope you can find some peace out there. Or, you know, some happiness.
There have been a lot of things that were unsaid these past few years, and some painful memories that we kept to ourselves. But even through all that, I'm relieved we're still able to become friends again. I'm happy that we're all here, so that we can face this together.
It's okay, Hero. I'll go first. Hey, Noro. When you move away, do you think it'd be too much trouble if you could... Aubrey, Noro, where are you guys going? Or are you guys coming? Actually, never mind. It's nothing.
Alright, let's do this. I'm a little worried, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just a little bit worried.
This is where Mari...
Yeah, it is.
It feels like forever ago. But I can still remember that day perfectly.
That day was really busy. In the morning, I went out with Mom to buy some nice clothes and shoes. We spent all day shopping and didn't get home until the afternoon.
I remember that day too. I went out to get a haircut with Dad. Oh yeah, you were there with your dad too, Aubrey. We were preparing for something, weren't we? Yeah, we were. We were going to watch Mari and Noro's music recital. It was supposed to be that night, but when we came home in the evening... Even after all this time, I still don't understand why she would do it. Oh, she killed her. She seppuku'd.
I don't think any of us ever will. Hey guys, let's keep going. Wow, this place has seen some better days, but it looks like everything is right where we left it. Our old stuff is still here. Hey, look, here's our playing cards. I was the best at card games, wasn't I, guys? Mr. Planet, oh, you're so dirty. Look at all these old books. So this is where all my cookbooks went. I think I just stepped on a jack. Oh man, good times. Why didn't we have a toaster in here? A baseball bat. Mari used to play softball but quit when she injured her knee. Plants made from paper. Aubrey and Basil made these together. Cal's old shoes. He forgot his stuff at your house frequently. An old TV. Cal brought it up here, but was pretty bummed when he found out he couldn't use it. Here's old cookbooks. Mari bought them for his birthday. The last photo! What? Don't forget, it's in the toy box? Hey, look. Noro found a photo of us. We all look so happy. Wasn't there a photo missing in the photo album? That must be it. Hey, you're right, Cal. Take out your photo album, Noro. We should add it in. I need to see what's in that fucking toy box. It's done. It's complete. There. Now the photo album is complete again. You know, this is probably the last time we'll all be together here in this treehouse. Now that the photo album is complete, we should look through it one last time. Good idea, Hero. The photo album is already out, so might as well. Right, Noro? Let's start from the beginning. Okay. You know, we've already read most of these. She was... Okay, I want to see the treehouse one. Okay. Ta-da! All summer we've been working on an old treehouse in Noro's backyard, and it's finally finished. Hiro and his dad did most of the work, but Aubrey and I made paper plants to put in the windowsill. We all did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I think we're done. Omori. I miss her so much. I miss her too. Hey, come on, guys. Why the long faces? Look at all of us back together again. Mari would be so happy for us. Yeah, you're right. She would be. If only Basil could come here too. Huh? Hey, Aubrey, what's up? Oh. Oh. What's going on? What's going on? You know, after everyone drifted apart, I felt so alone. But now, I realized that I was the one who was pushing everyone away. In the few months after Mari died, everything changed so fast. Noro and Basil became more closed off. Cal made a bunch of friends playing sports, and Hiro always seemed to be busy studying. I was so angry at how my life kept moving on. I felt like everyone abandoned me. And abandoned Mari too. But I couldn't see that everyone was dealing with their pain in their own way. After Noro stopped coming to school, I saw Basil sitting alone during lunch. So I asked him if he wanted to study together at his house. He seemed kind of uneasy about it at first, but after I begged him, he agreed. The walk there was really quiet. Basil wouldn't even look at me. And when we got to his room, I tried to talk to him. But he said he had to go to the bathroom and ran off. That's when I spotted his old photo album on his bookshelf. I just wanted to go through the photos because, well, guess I just wanted to see everyone happy again. But when I opened it, Basil had blacked out all of the photographs with marker. I couldn't believe it. He had even blacked out Mari's face. All of our memories together. It felt like he had just destroyed them. I was so confused and angry. I thought he was a nutcase. So, instead of trying to understand him, I stole his photo album and started calling him creep and things like that. And eventually, I wasn't the only one calling him names. I feel like scum for that now. But you know what? Ever since then, all I've been doing is trying to cut myself off from everyone. It's really kind of funny. What I've been doing is worse than what Basil did. Yet I'm the one who's angry at him. I'm such an idiot. Hey, it's okay, Aubrey. We've all made mistakes. At the time, I didn't really understand what was happening. I was afraid that I'd somehow make things worse. So I just decided to stay out of all of it. I'm really sorry, Aubrey. Hi, VTuber fan, welcome. And I'm sorry to you too, Noro. I was a pretty crappy friend. You were still pretty young then, Cal. But I'm the oldest. So I should have known to take care of everyone. I just... No, it's fine. Everyone's here now. So it's okay. I don't deserve friends like you. Don't be silly, Aubrey. Of course you do. During all this time, it's pretty obvious that you still cared about us. I mean, just look at the photos in the photo album. There's no trace of any of the black marks you were talking about anywhere. You can see all our faces just fine. I don't suppose they all just cleaned themselves, did they? It's alright, Aubrey. I promise from now on, I'll always be there for you. Yeah, I promise too. We should all be there for each other. Hey, you know what? I think this is the perfect time for a big group hug. Group hug? Aw, yeah, count me in. Wait just 1 second. Ready or not, here we come. Yeah, gotta scoop me in there. So cute. We should go see if Basil's back at home later today. I need to apologize to him, and I think right now, he's probably the one that needs us the most. Let's fucking go. Friendship. Oh, Basil. 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 We want to talk to you all night. Oh, it's an old lady. Hey, old lady. Oh. Did she die? I see dead people. Oh, thank goodness you guys came back. Is something wrong? Well, Basil's back home, but he's not talking to me. Oh no. Is there anything we can do to help? It's a bit hard to say right now. When Basil came back, he went straight to his room and locked the door. I haven't been able to get a word out of him since. Maybe he just needs some time alone, but I don't know. I'm just worried. Could you guys try and talk to him? Of course. We'll do whatever we can to help. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to come in whenever you're ready. I'm ready. And we get the save. Basil's has been all by himself recently, so I'm sure he's lonely. It's nice to know that Basil has friends who care so much about him. Hi, Basil. It's Hero. I'm here with Kel, Aubrey, and Noro. We're all here to see you. Is there anything we can do to help? We just wanted to let you know that we're here. Let us know if you need anything, okay? Maybe he just needs some time to himself. I'm really sorry to bother you. Don't worry about it, Polly. We've all been there before. If I've learned anything these past few days, it's that friends should be there for each other. Always. Hey, Basil. This is Aubrey. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for the way I've been treating you. Will you please say something? We just want to know that you're okay. I think we should stay here for him. Yeah. Last time we all made the mistake of leaving each other when we need each other the most. This time, we'll stay together. Polly, do you think we can sleep here for the night? Oh, you're all so kind. Of course you can stay over. I think Basil would really appreciate that. I know it would mean a lot to him. Awesome. I call the couch. Oh, this is all happening so fast. Okay, since Cal wants the couch, everyone else can have the quilt. We have a lot of them here. So I'll go grab them now. Why do you get the couch? Well, duh. It's because I called it first. Ow, that hurt. Yo, I really hope that's not spoiled. If you guys, I hope that that's not any spoiler or anything like that. If you guys like are spoiling it, I might just... Okay, you guys are just guessing? Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's hang out. Hello, Neil, welcome. Oh, we're all just hanging out. Aww. Hi, Lizzie, welcome. Aw. Hey, Noro. I know this probably wasn't the last night in town you were expecting, but I just want you to know that even if you're moving away tomorrow, we'll always be friends. Ah, that's so cheesy, Hero. Hey, I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Hero's always been such a big softie, just like you, Aubrey. What did you say? It's nice to hang out like this again. I've been so busy with school and studying, I don't really have time to make friends anymore. Well, you'll always have us, I guess. Yeah, you gotta get up, Glow Stick. See, I was right. Look who's the softie now. But yeah, it's true. I know we'll always be there for each other. Just like I know that Mari is still here with us too. You know, I hope we'll be able to see Basil before you leave tomorrow, Nora. It would have been nice to have a proper goodbye. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm getting sleepy. What the? Is he asleep already? Oh, I hope you have a good time at the hospital. I hope that's not too serious, Glow Stick. Yep, that's Kel for you. That part of him hasn't changed a bit. Hey, Noro. Thank you for everything. It's probably been tough to leave your house after all this time, but I really appreciate you doing it for us. And hey, tomorrow's the big day. I hope you're not too worried about moving to a new place. If anything, you got us. Life gets better. You just have to stay positive. Life gets better, huh? Hey, Nora, after you move away, you should, maybe come visit once in a while or something. Yeah. Then we can all go out for some sandwiches. Or maybe we can all go to the park. Or the beach. Or just sit at home and watch TV. Who knows? We can do anything. That sounds kind of nice. Do you think my new friends can come too? Of course they can, Aubrey. You don't even have to ask. The more the merrier, after all. Come on, guys. It's time to sleep already. Yeah. Good night, guys. Good night, Cal. Good night, Aubrey. Good night, Noro. See you all in the morning. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Will you forgive me? My best friend. Please. Oh, wait. Okay, we can't do anything yet. Hello? Can we, like, open our menu? No. Can we go sideways? Oh, he like looks so. Oh, he looks towards me. What am I supposed to do? Just keep walking. I can't open my inventory or anything like that. Are you gonna follow me? I know I can't. I cannot look. It won't. No, I can't look in my pocket or anything. Yep. Nothing I can do right now. And there's no, yeah, there's no kitty. Guys, what do I do? I'll just keep walking, go in different directions. Yeah, I can't open my pocket. Just keep walking. Just keep going straight. What do we do? I don't know. What do we do? Just keep walking. Oh, Valeria, thank you so much for following. Does a picture in the sketchbook change? It does not. But I can... Yeah, it's the same every time. Oh, oh. I'll just keep walking. Just keep walking. Never stop going. Never give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you. Okay, I may have to look at what we have to do here. Maybe looking it up might not be so bad. Hold on. Just so I know what I have to do. So just over here, okay. Okay, let's see. I see. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm so stupid. All right, there we go. Oh shit. Oh, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Just have to focus. Oh no. Oh, I don't like this one bit. I don't like this. Persist. I gotta persist. Space Ahoy, thank you for the 9 months. Let's go. That's a W. Mwah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're playing OMORI. We're like really close to the end. You feel your life is in danger. Is that Mari? Your lungs tighten up. You hear your breath begin to steady. Come on, calm down, calm down. We're good, we're good, we're good. Yes. Yes, we're okay. It's okay. You gather up all your courage and learn to overcome. Got a light bulb. Whoa, what is this play? Is this the dream world? Why did Mari do it? Why is Basil still alive?
Noro, you're finally here. I've always dreamed that you would come back for me, but maybe it's too late. The truth of that day will be hard to accept. When you see it, you will have to stay strong. And if you can, please forgive me.
What? Oh, here. All right. I will not judge what I'm looking at until we watch the full album. What the hell? because Basil's grandma, they probably died. Oh. Okay. Oh, is there? Okay, is there any more photos? Where's stove? Okay, I don't think there's any more here. Yeah, I don't see any more. Oh, we can't. The door is locked. What's next? Person is breathing steadily. Oh, here it's different. Person is not breathing. What the hell? Oh, nah. Oh, nah. No. No. What? Is that me?
Noro, don't worry. Everything is going to be okay.
Mori's calendar. Today is the day of the recital. Something's preventing you from getting any closer. Oh, oh. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck? What's happening? What does this mean? Oh my god. No, go away. No! Go away! Oh, it's another photo. Hi Wes. Oh, you came at a very, very pivotal time of the game right now. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, 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 okay. Oh. Violent broken. Mari talk to us. She try and grab us. We push her? We drag her body. Cry. Elijah, thank you so much for following. Guys, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I don't.
Noro, it's just you. I'm glad you came. It's so good to see you.
It came to you that day, the day Mari died. When Mari fell, You couldn't have done it. It was something behind you, wasn't it? You're a good person, Noro. I know you're a good person. A good person wouldn't do something like that. After all this time, you've finally come back for me. But tomorrow, you're going away. How could you do that? That's mean, Noro. That's so mean. There's something all around us now. Can you see it, Noro? There's no way out of this, is there? Where are you going? Stop trying to leave me. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! I don't want to be alone. Not again. You can't leave me again. No, you wouldn't leave me. That's not you, Noro. It's something behind you again, isn't it? Huh? There it is now. Do you see it? Stay away. Stay away from Noro. I'll protect you no matter what, Noro. You can count on me. When something killed Mari, when something ruined all my photos, I didn't say anything. I didn't want people to think it was you, Noro. Noro wouldn't do something like that. Don't worry, Noro. I'll save you again. Something behind you. I'll get rid of it once and for all. Noro, don't be scared. I'm scared too, but this is for the best. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Oh. Nausea. What the hell? You want to run. Don't worry. Calm down. Noro, there's no way out of this, is there? Thank you. You tried to calm down, but your lungs fought to breathe. Tell me, Noro, am I selfish for doing this? You tried to persist, but you couldn't hold steady. You want to run. Noro, do you hate me? Please stop it. Stop struggling, Noro. I'm so tired. Everything... Wait, what? Everything is going to be okay. Hi, loves for VTubers, welcome. I'm terrified. Oh no. We're not saving Basil, we're killing Basil. Why? Why won't you stop? I'm doing okay. All things considering. Oh god. I hope you're doing well today too. Oh. Fuck. What's going on? Oh. What's the cat? Meow. I hope you're feeling better. Meow meow. Meow meow. Oh. Meow meow. Meow meow. Where's the meow meow? Basil? Oh, Basil!
Hi, Noro. You found your way back home. I don't know if I've ever said this properly, but I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble. When I gave you my photo album, I really did want you to have it. But somehow, whenever I try to help, I always end up burdening you instead. Even back then. All this pain we've been feeling, the guilt in our hearts, even if we try and bottle it up, it all comes out somehow. I want to say that everything will be okay, that we have no choice but to carry on, but that's up to you. Aubrey, Kel, Hero are all good friends. You have to trust that they'll forgive us. It's hard to truly believe that, but the photos in our album, they're not just photos. They're real memories. Our memories. It's proof of our friendship. Hold these pictures close and remember what you want to protect. I'm sorry. It looks like I'm burdening you again. The path to your future will open soon, but only you can decide what to do in the end. It's not much, but I'll be cheering you on. Noro, let's make some new memories together, okay? Don't forget it, it's in the toy box.
a toy box. Where's the toy box? It's in my room, probably. Okay, not this one. It's the bathroom. Just me being normal. Okay, it's mom's room. Noro, it's almost time. You've been through a lot these past few days. You must be so tired. We all make mistakes. You've been running from this one for a long time now. It's tough to own up to them sometimes, but you'll forgive yourself, won't you? You can do this, Noro. You've worked really hard to get to this point. There's only one thing left to do now. Know that I'll always be watching over you, okay? As long as you remember me, I'll be here. Good kitty. You can do this, Noro. You've worked really hard to get to this point. I don't know what I have to do. Do I just have to... Oh. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. What's in this? The violin. Huh. Let's get out of here. Whoa. Holy. Is that for me? What's happening? Oh, this is when we were kids. Yes, you got just what I needed. Uh-oh, my hands don't look so good. You can't just tell people that, Kel. You have to put on a good poker face. Ah, when'd you get behind me, Mari? I just got here, silly. Here, I brought cookies for everyone.
Basil, are you taking a photo?
Oh, yeah.
Aw, man. Don't take a photo when I'm struggling like this. Don't be so dramatic, Cal. It's just a card game. Huh? Another photo? And what's so funny anyways? Is there something you're not telling us, Basil?
Don't worry about it. You'll find out soon enough.
Shh, don't tell anyone, okay?
Can I leave? Well, hold on. Let me explore this just a little bit more. Mari's cookies are the best, huh, Noro?
Oh, Hero, don't be so humble. You know your cookies are way better than mine.
Hey, that's subjective. Mari's cookies have much more love baked into them. I could eat them forever.
Oh, stop it, Hero. You're embarrassing me.
Alright, let's get the frick out of here. You remember the smell of freshly baked cookies. It smelled better knowing that Mari made it from scratch. The violin mended a part of itself. Oh! Okay. Hey, yo! And there. The watermelon's all cut up. Come on, everyone, take a slice.
Yay! Thank you, Hero. Look at you, such a big, strong man.
Ah, not now, Mari.
Woohoo! Nothing beats a nice, juicy watermelon on a hot summer day.
No, it's okay, Glow Stick. I also feel kind of dumb playing it, but it's fun, right?
Hey, don't take a picture of me while I'm eating, Basil.
I'm sorry, Aubrey. I just thought you looked cute. I'll show you when it's ready.
Well, okay, fine. I trust you, Basil.
Bum, 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 bum. Ba, 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 ba. We'll have to swim, right? No. You gonna play while you're in the hospital tomorrow? Ah, I hope you feel better. You remembered the taste of watermelon. It tasted more delicious when you ate it with everyone in the hot summer. Come on, we gotta mend like a few more pieces. We can do this. Easy peasy. Looks like everyone fell asleep. I guess it's just us three now. Oh,
I guess it's just us three now.
Everyone must be feeling sleepy after such a big meal.
Thank you for cooking for all of us, Hero.
it was nothing. I'm just practicing a little. I'm glad you all liked it.
One day, you're going to be a world-famous chef and you're going to cook me lots of yummy food.
Huh? Wait, I am?
Of course you are. I believe in you, Hero.
Well, if you say so. I'm glad you're using your camera more now, Basil. You seem to be enjoying your new hobby.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty fun once you get the hang of it. Wait a sec. I think there's something strange in this photo.
Hector, how could you? I wait every year for summer, and it's usually good, but it was never as good as summer as I am. Wait, but it was never as good as that summer I'm always waiting for. Yeah, that quote kind of does fit this, doesn't it? Oh, we're just chilling, we're just hanging out. Save. You remember the feeling of sleeping on Maury's lap. It felt more comfortable because you knew that no matter what, Maury would always keep you safe. Oh, it's all the oh my god, it's all the memories. Hey, Noro. Hey, Basil. What do you got? What took you guys so long?
Sorry. We just got carried away playing this new game where you fight each other with these things called pet rocks.
Basil, take a photo of my new raincoat.
Okay. 1 sec.
Do you like it, Noro? It's my favorite color, pink. Ew, pink's a gross color. No, it is not, Kel. You're a gross color. That doesn't even make any sense. Oh, Noro, that reminds me. Mari and I were talking about dyeing our hair together. Mari says she's going to dye her hair purple. Purple? You want to know what color I chose? Wait. Are you saying you want to dye your hair pink? Ew, that's weird. Why would you ever do that? I don't know. I just thought it'd be cute. Mari thinks so too. I never understand you two and your crazy ideas.
I think pink would look good on you, Aubrey. What do you think, Noro?
Yes.
Noro says he thinks that pink is a great color.
See? Even Basil and Noro agree. You're the one who's weird, Cal. Psh, whatever. Oh my god. We go back into my house? No. Oh, you have purple and pink hair? That's a crazy combo. Oh, are you going on ahead, Noro? Don't worry about us. We'll catch up in a minute. Yeah, these friends are adorable. They've always been adorable. Yeah, let's get out of here. You remembered. The sound of falling rain as it hits your umbrella. It sounded more calming knowing that you were standing next to your best friends. Come on, just mend the violin already. This game's making me sad. Did I pass one? Oh, whoops. Maybe this is the one I just passed. Are you sure you don't want to be in the photo, Noro? Noro's a bit camera shy. We all have those days, don't we? It's okay, Noro. You'll get used to it soon enough. Wow, that cake looks amazing. You've really outdone yourself this time, Hero.
Yay, thanks, Hero. I love strawberries.
Basil, what are you what wish were you going to make? Hey, you can't ask that, Aubrey, or else it won't come true. Huh? Is that how it works? Then in that case, I wish that Cal would get straight A's in school. Hey, you can't do that.
A wish? But what should I wish for? I have everything I could want right here. Oh, I know. I think I'll wish for... Just kidding. It's a secret.
I want to know though. Guys, if we don't hurry, the candles are going to melt. Are we all ready to sing? Yeah, you bet. Did you want to start us off, Mari? Sure thing. And a 1, and a 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you. Woohoo! Blow out your candles, Basil. Make a wish. You remembered Basil's smile as he was about to blow out his birthday candles, but you also remembered, as Basil made a wish, you made one too. At the time, you wished for everyone to be happy. Not bad imitation. Hey, yo, let's go. I got the seal of approval. Wow, a new basketball? Thanks, bro. No problem, Cal. You can thank me by doing a little better in school. Uh-huh, you bet. Oh, Razor, you want a kiss? Okay. This year you get just one present from all of us. It probably doesn't look like much, but we all had to save up for it together. Yeah, me and Basil even started selling cookies and lemonade in the summer. And Mari and I had a job at the bakery for a while, if you remember. And me? I had to deliver newspapers every morning for like 3 months. And you know how much I hate mornings. We all know this might be a lot of pressure, but it's been a while since you quit playing violin.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a while since you quit playing violin. Mari told us how much you always sit in the room with her when she's practicing the piano. And there was even that one time I caught you trying to play your old mini violin, even though it was too small for you.
Anyways, this was Basil's idea, but we all decided to pitch in for a really, really nice one. So, yeah. We hope you like it, Noro. This is from all of us to you. It's a violin, isn't it? It's the violin. It's the violin. It's the violin. Yup. Oh. Ta-da! Your very own violin.
We hope you like it, Noro. Go on and try it out.
You felt a tingling in your fingers, as if on its own your body realized. Your body readied the violin to play. You remembered the anxious feeling in your heart as you played the first note of your new violin. That it scared you, but you didn't mind. Because they believed in you. And no matter what, you didn't want to disappoint them. Because they were your friends. Noro, you're finally here. After this point, it's going to be up to you. You know, before we met, I had a lot of trouble fitting in. Even after we all became friends, I always assumed you were going to leave me eventually. But when the others were busy doing things, you always seemed to have time for me. You would listen to me talk for hours and hours. I could always rely on you to do that. I know we missed out on each other for the past few years, but it doesn't have to stay that way. People always tell me that I'm dense or that I'm kind of careless, but I'll always be here if you're okay with that. Noro, we know that you're not someone who likes to take the lead. This has been really hard for you, but you have to put a little trust in us too. Just because you've done something bad doesn't make you bad. Oh, that was Kel. Just because you've done something bad doesn't mean you're bad. You had to live with this pain for so long, and you've been keeping it all inside. It might be easier to ignore your problems, but it's okay to cry about them. There's more good times to come. Life gets better, and you can be the only one that makes it happen. I sound like Broly when he's not mad. Whatever happens next is going to be your call. But we're here for you because you want us to be. And we really hope that this isn't goodbye. We believe in you, Noro. Are we gonna play the violin? No fucking way. Okay. It's time. The stage is ready for you. Yes. my god, he's gonna play. Man, this is so sad. Oh, cause he has the, what do you call it? Oh, what the hell? Cherish. Kels, friends are supposed to be there for each other. You've caused so much suffering, yet you do nothing. And you've earned nothing in return. Your friends will never forgive you. They'll abandon you like you did them. And that's what you deserve. hope you can find some peace or, you know, some happiness. You tell yourself that you don't want to burden others, but the truth is that you're selfish. You just don't want people to depend on you. You say you care, but you're a liar. You've never done anything for anyone else. You're useless. Less than useless. You're sick. People like you don't deserve to live. Last time, we made the mistake of leaving each other when we needed each other the most. This time, we'll stay together. Your friends are wrong about you. The person they love isn't you at all. You let them believe in a lie to protect yourself. You're nothing but a liar. And when they see the truth, they'll hate you as much as you hate yourself. If they know the truth, you'll never be able to regain their trust. No matter what you do, it will be hopeless. All you do is make things worse. It would be better if you just died. Did I die? You should just die. Oh my god, I died! What? No. Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll restart that. We'll restart that. Game over? It's never over. Yes. This is the last part. Cal's words. Oh. It's never nor over. It's never nor over. At the heel. Calm down. Yeah. They're not gonna fucking abandon me, you stupid. Oh, I know I'm just talking to myself at this point. Like this is literally just me like I'm like telling myself to give up. That's so fucked up. Yeah, this is just how internal, yeah. This is literally how they are. You remember Basil's hope? Maybe one day, things can go back to the way they were before. Your friends are wrong about you. The person they love isn't you at all. You let them believe in a lie to protect yourself. But you're a liar. Nothing but a filthy liar. And when they see the truth, they'll hate you as much as you hate yourself. All you will do is make things worse. It would be better if you just died. Hi, Kyoko. Come on, let me heal. Wait, how much? No, I need to heal. Oh my god. Calm down, just calm down. God, he does so much damage. What do I do? He does so much damage. Oh my god. Okay, that's a little better. I can't run. I can't run. Never give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. No, it would not be better if I just died. You sick fuck. Come on, just weak attack. You keep doing that strong attack. Okay, there we go. This is exactly like fighting depression. Oh god. No! No! Oh. Oh my god, no, 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 no. Are you kidding me? Dude, he was one shot. He was one shot. Oh, we're gonna fucking do this. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how long it takes. We're gonna do this. We can actually do this. Okay, we gotta thug it out in that last part. Yeah, we have to actually thug it out. Good night, Ravenwolf. This is the last part. Hi Kuma, welcome, welcome. Hi Chupa, welcome. Yeah, you missed most of my stream. Oh, it's okay. I mean, no, it's not. I love you too. Oh my fucking god. Batman, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Man, shut up, Omori. I'm a wee wee. Omori's a jerk. Alright, we can fucking do this. Alright, just wait for my chance. Wait for my chance. We actually fucking got this. Just stop doing that attack. Just stop doing that attack. Okay. I think we can handle that. That's fine, that's fine. Just gotta keep fucking healing, bro. Sweetheart, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Oh, okay, that was good. That's good. Fuck, that really didn't do anything? Oh my. Okay, it's fine. It's okay, it's okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, last bout. We can fucking do this. Just heal stall, heal stall, heal stall. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Okay, that's fine. That's actually fine. Yeah, no, heal battles. I hate heal battles, but we have to heal. We have to heal ourselves. I like the metaphor, but man. Okay, that's fine. Oh no, that's not fine. That's not fine. Our health's too low. Okay, there we go. That's fine. That's fine. Just calm down. It's gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. Everything will be alright. Don't worry. You're getting tired of him spamming this message. I'm getting tired of him spamming this attack. This one attack, I hate it. Oh my god, why? Why? He just keeps spamming it. Oh my god. I can't. I have to heal still. My health is so low. Okay. Come on. Please don't do that again. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, one more. Oh, okay, we got this. We got this. We fucking got this. That's fine. We gotta heal though. We gotta heal. Let's not risk it. Yep. Not risking it one bit. We have to be full health when we do the last attack. We have to be full health. Or at least close to full health. Yeah, that one. Yeah, he can't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. I'll take that. I'll take that. Please let this be it. There's another fucking... No way. No way. Kendra, thank you so much for following. Welcome. No. 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 You remembered Mari's request. You'll forgive yourself, won't you, Noro? You killed Mari. She loved you and you killed her. Aubrey loved you and you killed her. Wait, what? Cal loved her and you killed her. Basil loved her and you killed her. You loved her and you killed her. Oh, we didn't heal. What? We're not healing. Why are we, what's going on? Because I'm afraid. But no, I'm trying to calm down. No, no, please, please. No. What? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I can't calm down. I can't calm down. Wait, what? Okay. Wait, what? What? Yes. What's happening? What? Oh my god. Okay, this is different. This is different. Okay, this is different. This is different. This is different. What? Play. Huh? What happened? Oh my god, there's more game. There's more game. Oh wait, oh. Don't worry, I'm coming, you get. Basil? Basil? Sam, thank you so much for following. Welcome. I have to tell you something. One more day, the sun reaches my bed. One more day to spend alone again. Morning starts without me. I seem to find it hard to wake up. Steadily, my thoughts take hold of me. It starts to stay awake or fall asleep. Memories of the past, both good and the bad, overwhelm me. There's so much I wish I could take back. Sometimes I think maybe it's too late. Though the pain remains and though it may be hard, I'll carry on. Time to rise and shine. 9. Good morning. So the sun reaches my bed. One more day to spend alone again. Morning starts without me. Me too. I seem to find it hard to wake up. Oh my god. I got the good ending. Oh. Hi, Nia. Oh, we got the good ending. Oh. What's the bad ending? What's the bad ending like? Oh, we did it. Oh my god. Are you late? Well, we're just about 4 hours deep. I'm kind of curious about, you know what? I'm glad we got the good ending. I'm glad. We needed a W. We desperately needed a W. Omori bad end. I want to see what the bad end is like. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. And let's do that. Oh god, it's so big. Gotta make it smaller. There we go. Alright, let's see. So I see, is this all the same? Oh, no. Oh, and then I disappear. And Omori remains. Okay, this is what would happen if we got the bad end. I think if we chose not to continue, this is what would have happened. Alright. Welcome to white space. You have been living here for as long as you can remember. And it's just the same. It's just the same. I think so. Oh, whoa. Okay, hold on. It's a long way down. Do you want to jump?
Close
What?
your eyes, you'll be here soon. 1、2、3、4、5分時々本当に熱帯でもこのワードできない
Oh my, and it just fucking ends. Oh my god, dude, no. No. Okay, I'm glad we didn't get that ending. I'm glad. Oh. Ah. 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 I'm glad. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being with me on this journey today. Thank you. Thank you. I could not have done it without you. Really, I couldn't have. And we'll see each other tomorrow, okay? I actually might start stream a little earlier tomorrow, so instead of 5, starting at 5 p.m. PST, we might start at 4 p.m. PST. I'll make an announcement in the server just in case, because I have to do something a little bit later. I didn't realize, and I do want to take my time, spending time with you guys. So if I have to start a little earlier, then I'll do that. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you. Mwah. And I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you. And remember to love yourself and to forgive yourself. Okay? Okay. Good night.